Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to anyone who's tuning in at whatever time of your choosing. We have this few minutes of arriving, and it's an opportunity to just settle in and be aware of the body, tune into how you're feeling at the moment. Have a little sip or two of your coffee, and just sort of arrive and mentally prepare. Like you're going to have a good stretch of time, half an hour or so, where you're at one with your body. Apart from I'll be saying the odd thing, but you'll be there, you and your mind, and doing yourselves a really good turn, a really good session of self-help, as it were. But the thing is, with this meditation, it's directed towards, first of all, yourself, and then the well-being of lots of other people. And I think there's something in that, being focused on other people, which actually helps us. We're not obsessively thinking about ourselves, things we've got to remember, all the rest of it, the issues we face in the day. We can just spend time reflecting on others, being aware of the other people. So yes, I watched the sun come up. I watched it for a moment or two. A very nice day in prospect in some ways. And it did strike me that it is good to just take that moment or two, just stop, just be aware. There's a sun rising, or our sun, the sun, rising, and at least sort of just watch it for a moment. So good morning, Rose, welcome. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening to friends in Peterborough and where else? Monmouth, Nottingham, and especially the people in York that I'm itching to get across and meet in person. So it won't be long now, I don't think. And yeah, I mean, I do delight in this this possibility in the meditation, because we're so sort of dispersed, so far apart. Morning, Chris. But we're brought together, and I do experience a sort of a community, a sense of being with others, despite the obvious physical distances. So Andrea's joined us. Good morning. And yeah, to keep it fresh, I try and think, well, what could I bring to it this morning? What could I bring? So I've been relying on Vasantra's book, The Heart, and in a moment or two, I'll mention one or 2 points that he makes. And this meditation, well, Shakapada described it as a beautiful meditation, and it really is, even though very often, there's an element of struggle as we sort of find the contents of our minds. Well, of course, we're not starting from a great point very often. We want to arrive at well-wishing and love and genuine care, but we have to start from where we're at. Whether we're irritable or a bit sleepy, a bit dreamy, or whatever state we're in, but we try to move towards what we'd like to be. So good morning, Helen and Stuart. Morning. So we've got another moment or two just to prepare, settle in. And I do think it's very good to take that few moments just to arrive, be aware maybe of what you're currently feeling, the current mental state, how your body is. Are you, have you just been limbering up, preparing in a gentle way? Or have you just arrived on the chair or the cushion and you're straight from bed and sleepiness? So it's good at least to recognize, well, this is my starting point. This is where I'm starting from. So at 7 o'clock, we'll make a start. Welcome to everyone who's with us. and everybody who's watching later. So this week I wanted to focus a bit on the section in the loving kindness meditation, which is devoted to the so-called difficult person. So it's tricky to call them the difficult person, because of themselves they're not to be labelled the difficult person. We're finding them difficult. Morning, Margaret. And that's something to take to heart, as it were, that person, they might be loved by other people, and we are just experiencing perhaps a small part of them, especially if they've done something to us. So we can start to focus on our reaction to that person. We can start to move that in a better direction. We don't want to be poisoned by what's ever happened or the difficulties we're experiencing with them. And it might be worth reflecting, like Vasandra says, am I enjoying feeling like this? If there's difficulties between us, well, is this what I want to be experiencing? Do I want to feel like this? And, if I'm wound up, well, I don't notice the sunrise. I miss a lot of the good in life, because I'm stuck in these feelings. So for my own benefit, for our benefit, we do want to sort of move on from that. And it's worth bearing in mind when we get to that stage, you don't have to like the person. I mean, that might be really unrealistic, especially if there's been an ongoing difficult relationship. So yes, so we'll get to the meditation. We're doing the beautiful practice, the practice of loving kindness. For anyone who's new, it's in 5 stages. I will talk us through so that you don't need to remember everything. But in brief, we're going to devote time trying to cultivate loving kindness towards ourselves. And then when I ring the bell, we move on to a good friend. And again, we move on after that to a so-called neutral person, someone we can put a face to, but we don't know them. Now we're starting to make them more of a whole human being. And then we get to the person we find difficult. And then finally, in the 5th stage, we start to move out from those 4 people to everyone in your immediate environment, and gradually around the world. So that's the practice in very brief terms. So to prepare, it's good to just maybe do a bit of a scan. Set yourselves up in a good sitting posture. You want to be both alert and relaxed. And I usually start with the top of the head and scan the face. Check my shoulders, make sure they're back, they're not slumping. It's good to check the chest area as well. That's where the heart is located. And being aware of the feel of the clothing, it helps to bring you into the physical experience of sitting here. Be aware of the buttock sitting on a seat or a cushion. The hands resting. And then the feet, hopefully firmly on the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged. And it can be useful to tune into the breathing. Be aware, are you breathing a bit shallow? Is it a bit up? Or can you breathe a bit more relaxed, a bit deeper? Just scanning around the body, any tension points, for example, in the shoulders, and just say to yourself, relax, relax. I mean, it is a loving kindness practice after all. So we bring that to bear on ourselves. Relax. So into the practice, the development of loving kindness. So in this first stage, we're developing loving kindness towards ourselves. Now, if we have difficulties with self-esteem, this might be a challenging part of the practice. So it's good to remember, well, other people appreciate us. Hopefully there are people, friends and family who do love us. So if that's the case, we can start to cultivate that as well. Drop in a phrase, something like, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be making progress, may I appreciate myself. If you drop in a phrase or a reflection, just allow that moment or two for your mind to respond, to assimilate the thought. Perhaps you can remember a time when you did feel really happy, and you can reconnect with those feelings. Maybe you've done something and you're experiencing the love of people, their appreciation. And it's worthwhile reflecting that you're doing your best. We don't have to be perfect. We just do what we can. So to be here practicing this meditation, you must have something about you. Now in the second stage, we're trying to develop loving kindness towards a good friend. So there's an element of warmth already. We already feel good towards the friend, but we can take it further. We can develop it more than that. We can rejoice in the good qualities of our good friend. So again, you can drop in that phrase, may they be well and happy. Imagine them being well, remembering times you've spent together. You can reflect what would make your friend happy. What are the things they enjoy? A great way to bring this section of the meditation alive is to speak to your friend. You might experience a closeness. Tell them what you admire. Use the 3 magic words, I love you. Perhaps you can remember what music they like. Just bring to mind things connected with them. You're sending them lots of love. You're appreciating them. And you want them to be making progress in their own lives. Now, in the next stage, we move on to the so-called neutral person. This is someone you can put a face to them. You might see them regularly, for example, in the convenience store or when you're traveling to work. It's a face you see, but you recognize, but you don't know them. You don't have any feelings either way for them. So now we're trying to make them into a more whole human being. We can reflect, well, they've got friends and family. They're not neutral to the people in their lives who love them. They're not that different from us. They have feelings. They're breathing and going about what they do. So we start to wish them well. We start to feel that we have some some with some warmth towards them. I think you sometimes find when you start talking to strangers that there's a warm, friendly, interesting human being there, and something grows between you, some human warmth. If you get distracted in the meditation, just bring yourself back, but in a kindly, understanding way. It'd be a shame to fall out with yourself in the middle of a loving kindness meditation. And if you're not experiencing warm, gushing feelings of love towards this person, that's okay. We can have the intention. May they be well and happy, making progress in their lives. Perhaps in your imagination, you see them interacting with other people. There's warmth, there's laughter. They are alive. They're a lovely human being. So in the previous two sections, we've had to choose someone and try and develop loving kindness towards them. But in this section, the person we find difficult, well, they often choose themselves. They're impinging on us. They're causing us difficulty in some way, either irritation or deep wounding or whatever it is. But you wouldn't wish them harm. You wouldn't want them to be having difficulties. You wouldn't dance on their graves. So we start to try and turn round the difficulties. Perhaps just see, well, the difficulty I experience is just a part of who they are. There's much more to them than what I'm in touch with and aware of. And if you're really experiencing difficulties, you're finding the feelings are not what you would like. Well, you don't want to maintain that. You don't enjoy feeling like that. So try to reflect that that person, they're not difficult in themselves. And this difficulty or even problem we have with them, it can eventually be resolved. So may they be well. May they be happy. May they be making progress with their lives. And if you do get in touch with the very difficult feelings, even overwhelmed, you can slip back to the first stage and find some love and warmth for yourself. Get yourself into a good state again. You can always return to the difficulties later. One way to start to turn around things is to look for things that you could appreciate. Maybe there's mutual friends who like things about that person. Maybe you know enough about them, to delight or to appreciate. There are aspects to them that can be admired. And of course, it's important to acknowledge how you actually feel. But then to start to turn around those feelings, you're clear, you have the intention that you want to feel good towards the person. You want there to be warmth and well-wishing. This is not an easy practice, but if we can bear in mind, it does work. It does turn things round. So may they be well and happy, making progress. And now in the final stage of the meditation, we reconnect with the four previous people. That's ourselves, the good friend, the so-called neutral person, and the person we finding difficult. And then we can start to move outwards. So everyone in your household, May they all be well and happy. May they be setting out on a good day. May things go well for them. And then gradually moving out your locality, the immediate sort of environment. May everyone there be well, happy. You can even imagine them going about their day. People getting in their cars, people shopping, people going to work. All these people, they're all like us. They all want to be loved. And gradually extend out the well-wishing, the warmth of love to the whole of your town or village or city, whole of York, the whole of Blackburn, Nottingham, Monmouth, Peterborough, wherever you are. May everyone be making progress. May they be happy in themselves. Then include the whole of the country. And because we don't have any barriers, in your imagination you can travel right across Europe, around the world even. You don't stop at the border of Russia or Iran, our so-called enemies. They're all people as well. I have a friend in Moscow. So may they all be well. Everyone right round the world. In all the different cultures, all the different countries. May their dreams be coming true, their aspirations, and may they be living in harmony and peace. So may all beings be well and happy, including the animals who endure lots of suffering. And perhaps there are certain people you keep in mind. You can wish them well. I always think of the men in Guantanamo Bay who've been there for 17 years. So may they have hope. May they find some solace. Everyone right round the world, may they all be well and happy. Now, as we bring the meditation to a close, it's good to not open your eyes too quickly, but just slowly, gently emerge from the meditation and back into the room and the environment you're in. But take your time. I wish you all well. Good morning to everyone who's joined us. Stuart, Rachel, Margaret, Sarah, Helen, Shobit, I hope you've done well in your meditation. And if there's a chance of bringing it to mind during the day, it can act as a really good anchor, something to return to. And it's there in your heart now for the rest of the day. So many thanks to you, Helen. Yeah, have a great day, everyone. Hopefully we've been well set up by doing this practice. Shakapada calls it a beautiful practice, a beautiful meditation. And I think it can well be. Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Have a great day yourself. So wishing you all well, and hopefully see you next week. Bye-bye now. Oh, bye, Andrea. You're welcome. Helen. Oh, yes, good. Connection and peace. That sounds spot on, that does. Bye-bye now. Bye.